I'm Lucy Liu, a holistic health practitioner and a registered dietitian. Today, let's talk about your body's master healer, walking while you sleep. Walking, one of the most powerful healing molecules in your body, was not just a sleep hormone, but a master regulator of detoxification, cellular energy, gut resilience, and longevity. Let's meet melatonin. It is often misunderstood, vastly underestimated, and absolutely essential to your optimal health. When most people hear the word melatonin, they picture a small supplement bottle on a pharmacy shelf, promising a better sleep. And while melatonin is indeed the body's primary sleep regulating hormone, reducing it to a more sleep aid is just like calling the ocean a puddle. The truth is far more extraordinary. Melatonin is produced primarily in the pineal gland, a tiny pinecone-shaped structure nested deep in the center of your brain. Ancient traditions from Vedic philosophy to Chinese medicine have long regarded the pineal gland as a seat of spiritual consciousness, a bridge between body and cosmos. Modern science is now catching up, revealing that this small gland is one of the body's most complex biochemical symphonies. But here is what surprises most people. The pineal gland is not the only place melatonin is made. Your gut produces up to 400 times more melatonin than your brain. Your mitochondria, the energy factories inside every cell, synthesize their own melatonin locally. Your immune cells, your skin, your retina, your bone marrow, all of them make and respond to melatonin. This is not a sleep hormone. This is an intelligent molecule, a chemical messenger that coordinates healing, protection, and renewal across every organ and tissue in your body. Melatonin is not merely a sleep hormone. It is the body's master signal for darkness, repair, and renewal, touching every cell, every organ, and every system. Melatonin production follows a predictable daily rhythm, what the scientists call a circadian rhythm. As daylight fades and darkness arrives, your pineal gland begins secreting melatonin into the bloodstream, peaking between 2 to 4 a.m., then declining as morning approaches. This rise and fall is not just a sleep-wake switch. It is the body's nightly invitation to heal, to detoxify, to repair DNA, to restore mitochondrial function, to heal the gut, and to calibrate the immune system. When this rhythm is disrupted by artificial light, poor sleep habits, chronic stress, nutrient deficiencies, and aging, the cascade of consequences reaches far beyond tiredness. Understanding melatonin deeply is, in a very real sense, understanding the biochemical structure and the vitality of the body itself. Every single day, your body is exposed to an extraordinary burden of toxins, environmental pollutant, heavy metals, pesticides, and organic compounds from petroleum, plastics, endocrine disruptors, and the byproducts of your own metabolic processes. Your liver, kidneys, lymphatic system, and the skin work tirelessly to process and eliminate these substances. But there is one aspect of detoxification that is almost entirely dependent on darkness, sleep, and melatonin. And it happens deep inside your cells. Melatonin is one of nature's most potent antioxidants. Unlike many antioxidants that work in specific environments, for example, vitamin C is water-based vitamin. Vitamin E is fat-soluble. Melatonin is different, meaning it is equally comfortable in both watery and fatty environments. It crosses every biological barrier, the blood-brain barrier, the mitochondrial membrane, and even the nuclear envelope where your DNA lives. This unique ability gives melatonin an extraordinary reach as a cellular protector. During the night, melatonin neutralizes a remarkable range of damaging free radicals that accumulate during the day through normal cellular activity, stress, exposure to pollutants, and imperfect mitochondrial energy production. If left unchecked, these free radicals can cause oxidative stress, damage to proteins, fats, and DNA that underlies virtually every chronic conditions. Perhaps the most exciting recent discovery in neuroscience is the lymphatic system, a network of channels surrounding the brain blood vessels that acts as a waste clearance system for the central nervous system. It is very active during deep night sleep. During the night, your lymphatic system is flushing out metabolic debris, including amyloid beta plaque and tau protein, the very protein associated with Alzheimer's disease and cognitive decline. Melatonin plays a central role in activating and sustaining this lymphatic system. Without adequate melatonin production, the lymphatic flow is compromised, waste accumulates, and over time, this contributes to brain fog, memory loss, mood instability, and elevated risk of neurodegenerative conditions. The phrase "sleep on it" takes on a profound literal meaning. Your brain is washing itself clean each night, and melatonin is the key that unlocks this process. Melatonin also acts as an indirect antioxidant by stimulating the production of the body's own protective enzymes. This cascade effect means that melatonin's antioxidant reach extends far beyond what a single molecule could accomplish on its own. From traditional Chinese medicine, this nightly purification resonates deeply. The liver, the organ most associated with detoxification in TCM, reaches its peak energetic activity between 1 a.m. to 3 a.m., precisely the window of peak melatonin concentration. Now you can see ancient wisdom and modern biochemistry describe the same phenomenon in different languages. The night is a sacred time for purification, and honoring sleep is honoring the body's intelligence for healing. If you were surprised to learn that the gut produces far more melatonin than the pineal gland, you are not alone. This discovery has rewritten how researchers understand that the gut-brain connection and the role of circadian biology in digestive health. The gastrointestinal tract contains specialized cells, the same type of cells that produce melatonin. These cells are extraordinarily prolific melatonin producers, independent of light-dark cycles. Why does the gut need so much melatonin? Your digestive tract is one of the most metabolically active and environmentally exposed tissues in the entire body. It processes everything you eat and drink, encounters billions of bacteria, negotiates the boundary between the outside world and your bloodstream, and manages an immune system that must distinguish between harmless food proteins and genuine threats. This is an enormous amount of physiological stress, and melatonin is one of the gut's primary protective molecules. One of melatonin's most critical roles in the gut is protecting the intestinal epithelium, the single-cell thick lining that separates your gut content from your bloodstream. When this lining is damaged or becomes excessively permeable, what many practitioners call leaky gut, undigested food particles, bacterial fragments, and inflammatory triggers can enter the bloodstream and ignite systemic inflammation. This has been linked to autoimmune conditions, food sensitivities, skin conditions, brain fog, anxiety, and a host of chronic disease. Melatonin helps maintain the integrity of tight junction proteins and molecular zippers that seal the gaps between intestinal cells. Research has demonstrated that melatonin reduces intestinal permeability, modulates gut inflammation, and promotes the healing of damaged mucosa. For anyone dealing with irritable bowel syndrome, inflammatory bowel disease, gastric ulcers, and general digestive sensitivity, this is very significant. The gut microbiome, your internal ecosystem of trillions of bacteria, fungi, and other microorganisms, is very sensitive to circadian rhythms. This is very interesting. Research now shows that the composition and activity of your gut bacteria fluctuates across a 24-hour cycle, and this microbial rhythm is in constant dialogue with the body's melatonin production. Disrupted melatonin rhythm from shift work, late nights, jet lag, or blue light exposure alter your mitochondrion, alter your gut microbiome diversity, favor the growth of harmful bacteria, and reduce the populations of beneficial species like lactobacillus and bifidobacteria. Conversely, a healthy, diverse microbiome supports melatonin synthesis. Tryptophan is a dietary amino acid from which melatonin is made, is converted to serotonin and then to melatonin through a series of biochemical steps. Gut bacteria plays a crucial role in tryptophan metabolism, meaning a dysbiotic gut can impair the very supply chain of melatonin production. This bidirectional relationship creates a continuous cycle. One health is maintained, and a vicious cycle, one dysbiosis and circadian disruption reinforce each other. Is that amazing? Melatonin also modulates gut motility that move food through the digestive tract. Research suggests that melatonin helps regulate both the speed and the coordination of this movement, which is why disrupted sleep is so strongly associated with constipation, diarrhea, and IBS flares. Supporting melatonin production is, in a very real sense, supporting the entire digestive ecosystem. Would you agree? You can see, sleep is the best medicine. Now let's talk about the melatonin and the mitochondria. Of all melatonin's extraordinary roles, perhaps now is more poorly understood in mainstream circles. Is that its relationship with mitochondria. Mitochondria are the ancient bacteria absorbed into early cells over billions of years ago. Today, each of your cells contains hundreds to thousands of mitochondria, and these organelles are responsible not just for producing ATP, your cellular energy currency, but for regulating cell death, modulating inflammation and immune response, and controlling the pace of cellular aging. When mitochondria are healthy, you feel vital, energetic, mentally sharp, emotionally resilient, and physically capable. When mitochondria are dysfunctional, damaged by oxidative stress, toxins, nutrient deficiencies, and chronic inflammation. Here comes fatigue, brain fog, metabolic dysfunction, hormone imbalance, and accelerated aging. You can see, at least in part, to mitochondrial decline. Mitochondria boast accumulate melatonin in high concentrations and appear to synthesize their own melatonin locally. This suggests that melatonin has a deep, intimate relationship with mitochondrial function that evolved over an immense span of time. Mitochondria use melatonin to protect themselves from the reactive oxygen species that are an inevitable byproduct of their own energy production, a kind of self-generated oxidant shield. Melatonin has been shown to improve the efficiency of mitochondrial electron transport chain, the series of protein complexes through which electrons are transferred to produce ATP. When this chain operates efficiently, energy production is high. When it operates poorly, energy output drops and oxidative stress rises. Melatonin helps keep this system running cleanly and efficiently, essentially optimizing the fundamental machinery of cellular energy. Research has also demonstrated that melatonin supports mitophagy, the process by which damaged mitochondria are identified and cleared from the cell, making way for fresh, healthy replacements. This quality control mechanism is essential for maintaining mitochondrial health over time, and its decline is now understood as a key driver of aging and age-related disease. The clinical implications are vast. Conditions associated with mitochondrial dysfunction, such as chronic fatigue syndrome, fibromyalgia, metabolic syndrome, neurodegenerative disease, and aspects of depression, all involve disrupt sleep and circadian biology. Therefore, optimizing the body's own melatonin production through lifestyle and nutrition support creates a profound ground for healing at the cellular level. Would you agree? Melatonin does not cause sleep directly. Rather, it signals to the brain and the body that darkness has arrived and conditions are appropriate for rest. It lowers core body temperature, reduces cortisol, quiets the systemic nervous system, and shifts physiology into parasympathetic rest and repair mode. In this sense, melatonin is more like a dimmer switch than an off switch. It creates the conditions for sleep to arise naturally. Deep, slow wave sleep is when growth hormone is released, tissue are rebuilt, immune memory are enhanced, and the lymphatic system is most active. REM sleep, the dreaming stages, is when emotional processing occurs, memories are integrated, and creativity is renewed. Both phases require the melatonin-supported environment of adequate darkness and a well-functioning circadian clock. Chronic sleep deprivation even mild, has been shown to reduce melatonin output, impair immune function, elevate inflammatory markers, accelerate cellular aging as measured by telomere shortening, disrupt blood sugar regulation, increase appetite for high-calorie foods, and significantly raise the risk of mood disorders. These are consistent findings across decades of sleep research. Again, the sleep is at the heart of medicine, and it is free. One of the most significant and the underappreciated aspect of melatonin biology is how dramatically its production declines with aging. Melatonin levels peak in childhood and early adolescence, then begin to slow decline through adult. By the time most people reach their 50s and 60s, their 90 melatonin output may be just a fraction of what it was in their youth. This decline is now considered one of the contributing factors to the sleep difficulties, increased disease, reduced cognitive resilience, and accelerated aging that many people attribute simply to, oh, I'm getting older. Therefore, supporting melatonin production and protecting the pineal gland from calcification caused by fluoride accumulation, heavy metals, and oxidative stress becomes increasingly important as we age. This is an area where nutrition, lifestyle, medicine, and functional health approaches can make a profound and measurable difference. Now let's talk about the eating for melatonin. You can use food to nourish your sleep hormone. Long before melatonin supplements existed, humans obtained this precious molecule and all the nutritional cofactors needed to produce it directly from whole, unprocessed foods. Food-derived melatonin is absorbed efficiently and can meaningfully contribute to your body's total melatonin pool. More importantly, the nutrients that drive your own melatonin synthesis are entirely diet dependent. No supplement can replicate the synergy of this process. Melatonin is synthesized from tryptophan, an essential amino acid that the body cannot make and must obtain from food. The converging pathways runs like this: tryptophan to 5-HTP to serotonin and to melatonin. Every step in this process requires specific cofactors, and a deficiency at any point can choke the entire process, regardless how much tryptophan you consume. This is why a true nourishing approach to melatonin goes far beyond any single food. It honors the whole system. Interestingly, plants produce melatonin themselves as a protective antioxidant molecule, and when we eat these plants, the melatonin becomes bioavailable to us. The concentrations vary widely, but the cumulative impact of a melatonin-rich diet, especially in the evening hours, can be very supportive for your circadian health. Let's look at the top of the list is dark cherries, then walnuts, goji berries, tomatoes, and the list can go on. Beyond the food containing melatonin, the most important dietary strategy is to ensure an abundant supply of tryptophan and every cofactor needed to convert it all the way to melatonin. A deficiency at any step in this pathway, such as magnesium, vitamin B6, zinc, vitamin B3, and folate, create a melatonin production shuttle. Even when tryptophan intake is adequate, you still need an abundant supply of cofactors to make it work. This is where the wisdom lies. It is the whole nutritional matrix that matters, not any single nutrient in isolation. Would you agree? Timing matters as much as content. Body's melatonin synthesis begin wrapping up as darkness approaches. So what you eat in the late afternoon and evening can either support or sabotage this process. A tryptophan-rich evening meal paired with a moderate amount of complex carbohydrates is quite effective. The gentle insulin response triggered by complex carbs helps shuttle tryptophan across the blood-brain barrier perfectly, making more of it available for melatonin synthesis. Food is the foundation, but the whole picture of melatonin support extends into every dimension of daily life. Especially the morning sunlight exposure. Natural light in the first hour after waking sets the biological clock by suppressing melatonin, as it should be in the daytime, and establishing the precise timing of the evening melatonin rise. Aim for 10 to 20 minutes of outdoor light exposure without sunglasses in the evening hours. In the evening, reduce blue light exposure from sunscreens, such as overhead lighting and LED light, at least 90 minutes before bed. Blue light, the wavelength most disruptive to melatonin production, signals to the pineal gland that it is still daytime, suppressing melatonin release and delaying sleep onset. Blue light blocking glasses may help, but there is no evidence backing this up. So it's better to reduce the exposure to blue light. Keep your sleeping environment as dark as possible. Even a small amount of light can suppress melatonin. Several herbs. Let's talk about herbs. Herbs and plant medicine have been shown to support melatonin production and sleep quality through complementary pathways such as ashwagandha, my favorite, passion flowers, which has the ability to enhance GABA activity, promoting the nervous system relaxation that facilitates melatonin's effects. Reishi mushrooms has been long reviewed by traditional Chinese medicine as a tonic for the spirit and sleep. It has been shown to reduce sleep duration, reduce sleep tightness, and extend total sleep duration. Lemon balm and valerian work synergistically, calm the nervous system, and support natural sleep onset. In TCM, the lung and liver meridians are mostly active during the sleep hours, and the herbs that nourish these organs, such as sour jujube seeds, mimosa bark, have been shown to promote deep and restorative sleep. The 30 minutes of daily meditation that form a cornerstone of a truly holistic health practice also directly supports melatonin rhythm. Plus, it is free. In summary, a good night's sleep is very important to support your liver detoxification, so as our emotions. Based on the Chinese medicine, let's honoring the dark. We live in a culture that glorifies productivity, celebrates business, and treats sleep as a negotiable luxury. We light up our nights, scroll through our phones until our eyes close, and wonder why we feel so depleted, inflamed, and unwell. Melatonin offers us a different invitation to honor the dark, to respect the rhythm, and to trust the body is nightly renewal. Is not a wasted time, but a secret healing work. From a Vedic perspective, the night is a time for inwardness, dissolution, and regeneration. The body's intelligence, expressed through melatonin, knows this intuitively. When we align ourselves with this rhythm through nourishing food and meaningful lifestyle and herbal supplement, the single practice of darkness and stillness, we can unlock a healing capacity that no supplement, no biohack, and no intervention can replicate. Whether it is a glass of tart cherry juice in the evening, a handful of walnuts by the candlelight, a brisk morning walk to greet the sun, or 10 minutes of breath-centered meditation before bed, each small act is a vote for your circadian intelligence. Every small act is a message to every cell. We are safe, we are nourished, and we are ready to heal. Melatonin is not just a hormone. It is your body's daily letter to itself, written in darkness, sealed with silence, and delivered in the language of healing. Learn to listen to it. Protect the conditions that allow it to speak, and watch what transforms. I hope you found this information helpful and inspiring. If you are looking for individualized counseling that tailors to your health conditions, I offer a wide range of holistic services, such as holistic nutrition, traditional Chinese medicine, Reiki and theta healing, intuitive readings, medical palm reading, face and tongue reading, medical Vedic astrology, and quantum healing hypnosis. Thank you for watching and stay tuned for my next episode.